honored to be invited here to Hong Kong to talk about the mass casualty incidents experienced in Taiwan. Okay, about 20 years ago, Taiwan was heavily damaged by a worst disaster that was 9/11 earthquake, and it claims 2,000 people's life, and 11,000 people got injured. We haven't ready for it, so after the earthquake, we started to build a lot of new systems. However, 5 years ago, we had suffered from another human tragedy that was a Kaohsiung gas explosion, which happened in 2014. But this time, we found some flaw in our former system and tried to fix it by building a new one. So today, I'm going to introduce the history and the current system of our disaster management, and I'll introduce the new system that was for EMS, Emergency Medical Service, which played a vital part in MCI. Okay. Sorry. Okay. My name is Chen Xiangjing. I'm a third-year resident trained at the Department of Emergency Medicine at Kaohsiung Medical University Hospital, KMUH for short. My reference today is from these three experts who had to deal with the Kaohsiung gas explosion, and especially this one. This is Dr. Dennis, the first one. That's the chief of our trauma surgeon, and he is the one that bring up the idea of building a new system. I'll tell about the new system that he had to bring about. Okay, I'll start with the history and the current system. In the past 10 years, typhoon and earthquake caused the most casualty in Taiwan. And you can see the most catastrophe was 9/11 earthquake. So many people died, so much economic loss. And after this disaster, we got a lot of work to be built. And I list three important things that we didn't have. That we didn't have organization for disaster management. We didn't have the concept of the logistics. We didn't have the disaster management assistant team. So after the earthquake, we started to build our national DMAT in 2000. And we started to develop the Regional Emergency Medical Operations Center, RMOC for short. And I will talk a little more about this system. Okay. Under the guidance of the central government, we had set up 6 island-wide jurisdictions of this RMOC. And my hospital, the hospital I worked in, belonged to the Gaoping RMOC. And the purpose of this system is to coordination of immediate information and the resource for disaster management, and the communication between hospitals, and the collaboration between local and the central government, which is a very important function while MCI occurred. And then we start to develop the hospital incident command system. Therefore, every hospital had its disaster plan for the MCI. And in year 2009, we start to implement the emergency responsibility hospital. This is a grading according to every hospital's capacity. For now, we got 200 emergency responsibility hospitals, and 41 of them are advanced hospital, which all divisions of doctors are available in 24 hours. Take my hospital, for example. KMUH is a medical center. It is one of the 4 advanced hospitals. We got our own regional DMAT, and when we received the information from Gaoping RMOC while MCI was occurred. This is the member of our DMAT. And during my residency, I have received several DMAT training courses. And we hold competition between regional DMATs from different hospitals. Okay, later on I'll introduce simply about how our government and the hospital deal with the Kaohsiung gas explosion. And we learn our lesson from this disaster and try to build a new system to make improvement. Okay, Kaohsiung was the second largest city in Taiwan. Due to the gas leak, it claims 32 people's life and caused about 300 people got injured. This is a picture of that night. You can see the flame was devouring the city. The roads was destroyed, halfly destroyed. This car was blown to the roof by the explosion. You can see how powerful the blast was. Okay, here's how our government deal with this explosion. Command center had received a report about gas leak at that night, and several explosions happened since then. And after 30 minutes, MCA was declared. The command center called the emergency responsibility to prepare for the coming patient, and it also called the Department of Health and to set up the emergency operation team. And the central government was notified by local government and to set up the emergency operation center. And it also called the Gaoping RMOC, and its responsibility is to coordination between local hospital, local government, and the central government. And how our hospital managed this disaster? Okay, KMUH, the hospital I worked in, was the nearest advanced hospital. And we got a call from the command center about 12 minutes after the MCI was declared. First patient came to our ED 6 minutes after the call. You can see our hospital is quite near. And we got 10 patients in about an hour. According to our disaster plan, we activated the level 1. That was the organization to recruit more medical staff here. And after 30 minutes, we got another 20 patients, and it accumulated to 30 patients. So we activated the level 2. Okay, this is the picture where we activate the level 2. And the command center notified us that the MCI was ended at 3 o'clock. It took us 2 hours. It took 2 hours for 160 medical staff to take care of 40 victims. And half of them had a fracture, and 40% of them had burn injuries, and about 12% had inhalation injuries. And because our hospital is an advanced hospital, so 68% of the patient was belong to the tragic category 2. And 45% of the victim discharged on that day. And 40% had admitted to the ICU. 1 patient died, and the rest of them had a fully recovery. What had we learned from Kaohsiung gas explosion? You can see, look back to the event. We waste too much time just communication. Government keep calling to our hospital about the situation. The EMT is keep calling about the number of the available hospital bed. We can confirm this by the analysis of phone communication from RMOC. You can see the most of the graph are the green bar, which means asking. So people keep asking in this disaster management. So therefore, apparently, our EMS is lack of transparency and access to information. This is a picture of the night that command center are ended the MCI. MCI was ended, and every circle is represent a hospital, and the bigger circle means more patient. You can see the patient is inappropriately distributed among those hospitals. So we should ask ourselves a question. when MCI was occurred, how can we send those patients to the suitable hospital? Because saving time, saving more life. Okay, after 5 years of hard work, we set up 4 systems. Now for effective communication for the EMS, we had built a mobile app. This app is for citizens to report a disaster warning or medical rescue, and the patient can send those information to the command center. And the command center can identify if they should send the ambulance to the patient or not. Okay, so if the patient needs an ambulance, where can we find the most nearest ambulance? Okay, we have the online medical guidance system, and this system can help us because the GPS, the computer system. This is the working picture of the emergency medical dispatcher. You can see after using this system, the response time is shortened to 32 seconds. Okay, now I've introduced the mobile EMS system. Okay, when the ambulance was on duty, every EMT was equipped with this iPad installed with this system. So after they provide on-scene care, the patient's information will record into the iPad about the vital sign and the severity and what the EMT had provided, what kind of care for the patient's medical history, all can record in. And this information will be recorded into the electronic EMS information document. Now, we had the patient, but which hospital we should send the patient to? Now, okay, the mobile EMS system can also guide the EMT to send the patient to the most appropriate hospital. But where is the information from? Okay, that is the urgent medical administrative system. This system can integrate the information from 2 subsystems. One is Kaohsiung Emergency Medical Operations Center. It's the same name with the RMOC, but it's kind of different. This system can provide the information about the number of available beds. And another system is Gaoping Area Medical Emergency Response Alliance, CAMERA for short. And this system can provide the information of ED crowding status. With the combination of these 2 systems, every hospital had a certain cut-off light. And green is not busy, and black is severely overcrowded, which can provide the EMT and command center which hospital is available. So the EMT can also press the submit to hospital, so the hospital can receive those information and prepare for the coming patient. So let me highlight the benefit of this new system. Before the Kaohsiung gas explosion, our pre-hospital care is like this. EMT arrive, they provide on-scene care, report to the command center give the instruction, and then transport the patient to the designated hospital. But after this new system, we can transport the patient, meanwhile report to the command center, and inform the hospital, which shorten the pre-hospital time, provides and can save more life. Okay, this new system is really great, right? But how can we make the performance more better? We all know that data improves knowledge, knowledge improves our performance, performance reflected in data, so we need to build our database. To collect an EMS database, we set up the Taiwan EMS Information System, TAMSIS. TAMSIS is a standard national database which collected for patient care information resulting from the emergency call for assistance. It can let the EMS stakeholders to assess the EMS need and performance more accurately, and determine effectiveness of the clinical intervention, and facilitate the cost-benefit analysis. Okay, this cooperation between data sharing on with government and the whole hospital can make the TAMSIS more completed. And the different cities can cooperate more closely by sharing the TAMSIS data. This is a picture I took from last week. So this new system is actually actually use. So all the achievement was belong to these people, hard work people that who can trust each other and pursue the same goal. That was to send the right patient to the right place at the right time. Okay, in the end, I'll just bring some words from doctors in Taiwan who have still work on this to improve the EMS system. And they told me to bring some words to encourage the audience today. That was, when you build a new system right now, when you work on your new system, build the trust in the relationship. When people trust each other, cooperation is more likely. And you have to believe what you are doing is better to improve the system, so you have to believe what you are doing now. Because without the faith, we can not see the future. So believing is seeing. You have to believe what you do will be, you will see the result in one day. And find the flaws in your system and try to fix it, because better late than never. Okay, I'm so nervous. Thank you for your attention.